Mum said, do you want to come to dinner tonight?
Yes, I'd love to.
Have you done your room yet?
I'm going to do it, Mum.
When?
Well, I can't this evening, Mum.
Why not?
The Iscariots have asked me over.
Tonight? I was going to do dog.
Couldn't we have it tomorrow night?
If you've done your room.
Well, I've got to be at the amphitheatre tomorrow night, Mum.
Well, you're not getting any dog till you do.
We're having our meeting at the amphitheatre tomorrow.
Are you?
Do you want to meet them afterwards?
What meeting would this be, then?
It's a political discussion group I belong to, Mrs. Grade.
Anti-Roman, I suppose?
Well, we don't want them in our country, Mrs. Grade. They are imperialists.
Now, at least they keep their rooms clean. Don't you start getting involved in that sort of thing, Brian, do you hear me?
Well, I shall if I want to, Mum.
Oh, will you?
Well, yes. I am 33.
And what have you got against the Romans, Brian, eh?
I hate the bastards.
Oh, you do you? Well, that's very interesting, isn't it, Brian? Going to drive them all into the sea when you've cleaned your room, are you? Don't forget, my boy, if it wasn't for them...
What?
You ask Brian!
I don't know what she's on about.
Well, will you come?
Yes, all right.
Has he told you then?
What?
About Roman bastards? He's one, you see. His father was a centurion.
What?
His father was a Roman.
Judith.
You mean you were raped?
At first, yes.
Judith, look, I never saw him.
Full of fine words he was. Oh, yes. Promised me the known world he did. I was going to be taken to Rome, housed by the Forum, slaves, ass's milk, as much gold as I could eat. Then he, having his way with me, had, vroom, like a rat out of an aqueduct.
Typical.
Yeah, I went down to the barracks a couple of months later. Could I have a word with Nautius Maximus? I said. Nautius Maximus, they said. You've been had, missus. You've been had.
The bastards! The patronising colonialist bastards! We'll get them!
Yes, yes. Go and drive yourself halfway into the sea, dear. Then you can go and clean your room out. What would you like for tea, Judith?
Cut to Brian carrying a tray of assorted Roman delicacies. He's looking around him as he shouts.
Lark's tongues, wren's livers, chaffinch brains.
He sees one of the sales staff in a very under-attended amphitheatre. The arena's being cleared of the last item, various limbs being put into baskets. A Roman shouts from the front row.
Lark's tongues!
Brian goes forward. We see Judith and the revolutionaries, Reg, Francis and Stan sitting a few rows back. Judith has an aisle seat. Suddenly there's a roar from the crowd. A fearsome gladiator lumbers into the arena. Brian takes the opportunity of talking to Judith.
He's good, this bloke. He killed 2 tigers last week with his bare hands. He punched one so hard its head came off.
Could I have some nuts, please, brother?
I haven't got any nuts, sorry. I've got wren's livers, badger's spleens, and lark's tongues.
No.
Otter's noses.
No, I don't want any of that Roman rubbish.
Why don't you sell proper food?
Proper food?
Yeah, not those rich imperialist titbits.
Well, don't blame me. I didn't ask to sell them.
All right. Bag of Otter's noses, then, please.
A Samaritan is pushed out in the arena. A little applause. He disappears again. He reappears, being pushed into the arena, and the door behind him is slammed closed. The gladiator advances on him. The Samaritan starts undressing. The gladiator pauses, puzzled, then approaches again. By now the Samaritan is down to his Y-fronts. He takes one look at the gladiator and sets off at full speed round the perimeter of the arena. The gladiator lumbers after him. After a few seconds it becomes apparent that the Samaritan is going to take a lot of catching. Reg passes the bag of Otter's noses around. Bloody elitist catering.
Yeah, typical imperialist aggressor grub.
Yes.
Anyway, as I was saying, it is the unalienable right of every man
And woman.
And woman to rid himself
Or herself.
Or herself. Agreed. Thank you, brother.
Or sister.
or sister. Thank you, brother. Where was I?
I thought you finished.
Oh, did I? Right, furthermore, it's the birthright of every man.
Or woman.
Why don't you shut up about the women, Stan? You're putting him off.
Women have a right to play a part in our movement. Women...
Why are you always on about women, Stan?
I want to be one.
What?
I want to be a woman. From now on, I want you all to call me Loretta.
What?
It's my right as a man.
Why do you want to be Loretta, Stan?
I want to have babies.
You want to have babies?
It's every man's right to have babies if he wants them.
But you can't have babies.
Don't you oppress me.
I'm not oppressing you, Stan, but you haven't got a womb. I mean, where's the fetus going to gestate? You're going to keep it in a box? Here, I've got an idea. Supposing we agree that he can't actually have babies, not having a womb, which is nobody's fault, not even the Romans.
What?
But that he can have the right to have babies.
Good idea, good idea. We shall fight the oppressors for your right to have babies, brother. Sister, sorry.
What's the point?
What?
What's the point of fighting for his right to have babies when he can't have babies?
It is symbolic of our struggle against oppression.
Symbolic of his struggle against reality.
Judith! Go on, fight!
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you. Go on, fight him!
Have you seen him?
We came here to watch a good fight.
That's your problem, mate.
Oh, come on!
You want a good fight? You fight him. I should die so young.
The gladiator's almost on top of the Samaritan, but he's off again like a shot, and the distance between the two of them opens up rapidly. The crowd growing increasingly restive, and one or two fights break out. Go on, come on. What a load of rubbish.
I hate the Romans as much as anybody.
Look at you. I mean, just look at you peddling that garbage.
I don't want to sell this stuff, but I've got to work.
He's got him! A close-up of the gladiator. The gladiator is having a heart attack from the heat. The Samaritan seizes his chance, picks up the gladiator's sword, and runs him through. A few cheers from the Jews. Hey! Well done! Appalling. The Romans are disappointed.
Well, anyone can talk about revolution. That's the easy bit, isn't it?
Oh, I see. You're going to do something about it, are you?
Well, you never know.
Don't I? Cut back to the ring. The Samaritan is responding to the cheers by leaping around like a winning goal scorer. Oi! Hey! Back to the revolutionaries. They're all applauding rather they're all applauding rather loudly to irritate the Romans. Judith joins in. Brian looks at her. He's about to say something. He looks at the jeering Jews and then across the aisle to a group of fat Romans who are looking disapprovingly at this open display of defiance. Brian hesitates for a moment, then wrenches the tray off and drops it to the floor in a defiant gesture. Judith looks at him in surprise. He catches her eye. He looks determined and, realising that he's making something of an impression on her, turns on his heel and walks boldly through the exit. Judith watches him go, puzzled.
Yes. The exterior of Pilate's palace in the early evening. In one corner of Pilate's palace, Brian is furtively writing a slogan on the wall. A centurion comes up to him.
What's this then? Romanes eunt Domus. People called Romanes, they went. House in the nominative?
It says Romans go home.
No, it doesn't. What's Latin for Roman? Come on, come on.
Romanus?
Goes like?
Annus.
Vocative plural of annus is.
Anni?
Roman I. Now, what is this eunt?
Go.
Conjugate the verb to go. Conjugated, boy. Come on.
Eo is it. Imus. It is. Eunt.
So eunt is?
Third person plural present indicative. They go.
And you are ordering, so you must use
The imperative.
which is how many Romans?
Plural. Ite.
Domus. What is Domus? Romans go home. This is motion towards, isn't it, boy?
Dative, sir.
Dative?
No, not dative.
What?
Accusative. Domus. Domum. Ad domum, sir.
Except that Domus takes the
The locative. The locative, sir.
which is.
Domum.
So we have domai, ite, domum. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now write it out 100 times.
Yes.
And if it isn't done by sunset, I'll cut your balls off.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar, sir, and everything. Thank you, sir.
As the Romans go, some stay behind to enforce the punishment. We fade up again sometime later. By use of a ladder, Brian has virtually covered the wall with Romane ite domum. He finishes the 100th line, and the two Romans in the background. One calls out,
Right! Now don't do it again!
They go. Brian looks rather pleased with his achievement. At the same moment, two other centurions come round the corner. Their names are Andy, Seymour, Stevie, and Jocelyn. They stop and look at Brian.
Hello.
Hello.
Evening.
What's all this then?
Well, took quite a time. Oh, no, look. I was acting under...
What? Get him!
Go on, get him.
Three more, grab his knees.
Orders!
Brian flees down a side street with the Centurions in full pursuit. He's suddenly grabbed and pulled into the shadows by Matthias. Shh. The Romans run past. Cut to the interior of a dark cellar. It is night. There's a group of men clustered round a table.
We get through into the underground heating system here, up through to the main floor here. Now, Pilot's wife's bedroom is here.
Where's his room?
Pilot's down here. So, down to her room, grab her, bring her back here.
Yeah.
And then tell Pilot we got her and issue our demands.
Yeah.
That's it. Any questions?
What exactly are the demands?
We're giving Pilot 2 days to dismantle the entire apparatus of the Roman imperialist state. And if he doesn't agree immediately, we execute her.
Cut her head off?
Cut all the bits off and send them back every hour on the hour. Show him we're not to be trifled with.
Also, we're demanding a 10-foot mahogany statue of the Emperor Julius Caesar with his cock hanging out.
What? They'll never agree to that.
That's just a bargaining counter. And of course, we point out that they bear full responsibility when we chop her up, and that we shall not submit to blackmail. Right. They've bled us white, the bastards. They've taken everything we had, not just from us, from our fathers, and from our fathers' fathers.
And our fathers' fathers'.
Yes.
And our fathers' fathers.
All right, don't labour the point. And what have they given us in return?
The aqueduct.
What?
The aqueduct.
Yeah, they gave us the aqueduct. Yeah, that's true.
And the sanitation.
Oh, yeah, sanitation. You remember what the city used to be like?
Yeah, it's terrible, wasn't it?
All right. I'll grant you that the aqueduct and the sanitation are two things that the Romans have done.
And the roads?
Well, yes, obviously, the roads go without saying. But apart from the aqueduct, the sanitation and the roads...
Irrigation.
Medicine.
Education.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
And the wine.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, yeah.
The wine. Yeah, that's one thing we really miss if the Romans left.
Public baths.
And it's safe to walk in the streets at night now.
Yeah, they do know how to keep order. Yeah. Let's face it, they're the only ones who do in a place like this.
All right. But apart from better sanitation and medicine and education and irrigation and public health and roads and a freshwater system and baths and public order, what have the Romans done for us?
Brought peace.
What? Oh, peace, yeah. Shh. It's all right. It's Matthias.
Peter called Matthias?
No, Matthias called Matthias.
Evening, brothers. I've with me one Brian who wishes to join us.
Oh?
Good evening.
How can we be sure he's one of us, Matthias?
He's written anti-imperialist slogans all over the side of Pilate's palace, that's all.
He didn't.
He did.
We need doers in our movement, brother. You wish to join us?
Well,
Before you speak, know this. There is not one of us here who would not gladly suffer death to rid this country of the Romans once and for all.
One.
Well, there is one, but otherwise we're solid.
and you're the Judeans People's Front?
Fuck off.
What?
Judean People's Front? We're the People's Front of Judea. Fucking Judean People's Front. The People's Front fucking gets things done. We're not a load of fucking splitters. Splitters! Judean fucking People's Front.
By the way, look, which are you again?
We're the People's Front of fucking Judea. Now, you with us?
Yes, I am.
You mean you fucking are?
Yes.
You understand, if you want to join the PFJ, Brian, you've got to really hate the Romans.
I do.
How much?
A lot.
Good, you're in. We hate them so much, we get severe stomach upset.
I hate them so sincerely, my legs ache and I have to go and lie down.
I hate them so much. I just don't know what to do sometimes.
See? The only people we hate more than the Romans are the fucking Judean People's Front.
And the Judean Popular People's Front.
Yes.
The People's Front of Judea.
What?
The People's Front of Judea. Splitters! Cunts! Bastards!
We're the People's Front of Judea.
Are we? I thought we were the Popular Front.
People's Front, cunt.
Yeah.
The Popular Front split from the People's Front when they became unpopular with the people who split from the People's Popular Front.
Split us! We hate them! Oh, we hate them!
So, welcome, Brian, to the People's Popular Front of Judea.
Welcome, Brian. Welcome, Brian. Welcome, Brian. Nice to have you.
To whatever it is.